It's Monday, February 8th, 2021. It's 2:08 a.m. and I'm on my way to the gym right now. You know, one thing I think has always been a clear advantage for me, and maybe not one that's actually propelled me to where I wanted to be in life, but at least one that has always what's the best word I can look for? One that has always made me a contender, meaning somebody, a runner-up to first place, or at least close to, was I never spent a whole lot of time thinking, imagining, envisioning, harping on my past, on necessarily things that I don't want. I've been one of those individuals who, although I may not have ever vocalized what I want, or if I was displeased with something, or I guess what I'm trying to say is the way I think has always been that things can change, or that things can be better, or my situation is only temporary. I've never been one to kind of harp. Like, I'll listen to people and they'll harp and they'll dwell and they'll stew on the situations that they don't like. And when you see them the next time, I don't like this, I don't like the job, I don't like this, I don't like that. But they're talking about it in a negative light, but they're not doing anything about it. And though I may not have ever talked about anything negative, I've always chosen to just not really put up with it. Whether it was a relationship, whether it was the type of money I was making, the business that I was in, car I was driving, whatever the case may be, I just never, if there was something wrong, I just would prefer to fix it. Well, I don't like the way I look, I don't like my weight, I just go to the gym and get rid of it. It's not a big deal to me. It's not a big deal to say, hey, if this is a problem, if this is something that's not in line with what I want, then you just change it. It's that simple. You just change it. And the reason why I say all this is not to say that I'm doing better than anybody, but I'm also not doing the worst. Because there's some people that are just accepting anything and everything that life will give to them. And they will just keep complaining about how much they don't like it. And the point for me saying all this is simply, you have to consider the fact that the reason why your situation hasn't changed is because you talk about it so much. Well, somebody might say, well, if I don't talk about it, how will it change? Well, you start talking about the things that you do want. Or you start doing the things that you feel will get you the results. You don't necessarily have to say anything, but it has everything to do with how you think, what you dwell on, what occupies the majority of your thoughts, of your emotions. I went back through the book of Think and Grow Rich. I said, well, I've matured a little bit in my walk. I've matured a little bit in my journey. I said, let me go back and read Think and Grow Rich. And it's right. In order to manifest the thing, you have to believe that you already have it. It has to be something that controls your ever-waking thought. If the thing that controls your ever-waking thought is, I don't like this, I don't want this, that's what you really are going to get more of. And I know this is an old story. I've talked about this years ago in a video similar to this. But I could also say this to my discredit. I can say that I'm not actually where I want to be. And I'm talking about myself personally. Because I've yet to imagine and envision how big I could actually become. See, so you can stay stuck by thinking about the things you don't want. You can stunt your growth going forward by not thinking about how great you can actually be. And then you could just end up being in that middle ground. And there's nothing wrong with the middle ground. It provides an all right life. But that's the equivalent of having the fastest car in the world and driving it around at 30 miles an hour. What's the fun in that? If you want more, you have to ask yourself, what do you want? And then you have to make that a part of your every waking thoughts. And leave behind that idea or the concept of the things that you don't want. Because the things that you don't want are the things that you already have. You have to move yourself into another dimension of thinking and give yourself a fighting chance. Because if you can't think big, it's going to be real hard to kind of believe that you can actually go big.